welcome to my Hoard, the Nintendo GameCube. Everyone loves the GameCube. Go buy games for it. The prices are too high, so you end up buying a Wii and pirate all the games. Yeah, the GameCube's not successful, but there's been a weird accessory that I always found interesting. No, it's not the Game Boy player. It's this. It's literally a connector to your Game Boy Advance to a GameCube controller port. What you do is grab your Game Boy Advance, hopefully not one with the white back on it because that's mine. You basically just insert it in the top and make sure you get the one without the Nintendo logo, because you'll know when you have to go buy a new one because it'll fall apart in pieces. And all you do is just plug your controller in here. Your question is, what's the point? If you have a Game Boy player, you can actually plug it into the first controller port, and you can actually use it as a remote control. But there's a unique thing to this. You can use it to, quote unquote, get like an expansion to other games. Like, technically, in a way, this is kind of like the Wii U before the Wii U. It makes sense, if that makes sense. I know there's a lot of games out there that do it, like Pac-Man Versus. One of them uses the Game Boy Advance, and the other, I believe one of them uses the Game Boy Advance. I don't know if it's Pac-Man or not, but the other has Ghost. But I always remember this. The Wind Waker. There's one thing that the Wind Waker HD removed from the original. Tingle tuner. Right there. This is connect to the Game Boy Advance and play Call Party and get his remotely and uncover secrets and help them battle. Or, you know, in other words, this is now, instead of a one-player game, it's a two-player game. Because on the screen, it shows a remote, it basically shows Tingle, where and you just order stuff on the screen, and you can do a bunch of stuff. And for speedruns, there's a way to hover once you have 0 hearts, and then you can manually get a fairy by just purchasing it off of the Tingle store. Yeah, that's really it with this. Not a lot of, besides Wind Waker and Pac-Man Versus, there's not a lot of other games for it. Besides one more that I forgot, and because it's stupid expensive, Zelda 4 Swords Adventures. I can't afford that because, no, like, who the hell can afford GameCube games nowadays? But I always find this interesting to know that I have nobody to play with because I don't have multiple Game Boy Advances and I don't have multiple of these cables. Damn you not having friends.